I'll tell you what, guys, these are two tough football games tonight. In the NFL, of course, the Packers looking to rebound from their Week 1 home loss to San Francisco, a game that they were dominated far more than the final score would indicate, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Looking to rebound with a win against Chicago, and the Bears, of course, at Soldier Field, coming off a double-digit blowout of Indianapolis, a game that was a bigger blowout than the final score would indicate. And then in college football, you've got South Florida hosting Rutgers in a battle of 2-0 teams. The Knights have dominated this series of late, and last year came up with a dramatic overtime victory, but now they're traveling to Tampa, where the Bulls are returning home from Reno, Nevada, where they pulled off a stunning come-from-behind win in the final 2.5 minutes to rally for the 1-point-32-31 triumph over the Wolfpack on Saturday. So I'll talk about those games. I'll give you a free pick in the NFL contest, plus a money-saving discount coupon code that'll save you $13 off a single purchase. All that coming up in just a moment. First, let's talk about who's hot. As for Anthony Redd, tonight, 60 dime NFL winner number 3 in a row on the Bears-Packers side. You may remember his last 60 dime winner in the NFL was that little game on Saturday or Sunday when the Washington Redskins, the 8-point dog, went into New Orleans and absolutely swamped the Saints. So he is going for number 3 in a row here in the NFL, 60 dime winner, as he also hit one in week number 3 of the preseason as he cashed in with the 49ers. That one I'm just looking here, also an underdog when they beat the Broncos 29-24 in week number 3. Craig Davis has hit his lone 50-dime play in the NFL this season. That was the Cowboys last Wednesday, outright over the Giants in the NFL season opener. He's 3-1 with 50-dime releases overall, college and pro combined so far this year. Tonight, 50-dime winner number 13 out of 17. And 17 out of 23 overall on all sports combined over the past 8 months. And that is on Chicago and Green Bay once more. And it's bigger, of course, than his back-to-back 20-dime winners the past 2 nights when he rode the Rangers on the run line. Now, Scott Delaney is taking a pass on the NFL tonight. He is instead focusing on the Rutgers South Florida game. And it's his biggest play of the season once more. 80-dime college football winner, number 4 in a row this season, number 10 out of 12 going back to last season, and it's the Rutgers South Florida side. Guys, he is a perfect 3-0 with the 80-dime releases so far this college football season, and those 3 teams have won by a combined 79 points. He had BYU over Washington State 2 Thursdays ago. He had Duke over Florida International 2 Saturdays ago. Then he had Baylor over SMU 2 Sundays ago. And again, those 3 80-dime plays won by a combined 79 points. As for me, guys, last night, another baseball winner. Let's see, that was baseball winner number 14 out of 16 as I cashed in with the Brewers as they completed the 3-game sweep of the Atlanta Braves in an 8-2 rout. I think the best way to play tonight's game is in a teaser. So that's what I'm doing. And it's a 10-dime play, just like last night's winner on the Brewers. 10-dime winner number 7 out of 9, the South Florida Rutgers side, along with the Green Bay Chicago side. Listen, money-saving discount coupon code. That'll save you $13 off a single purchase today. This will be a hard code for you to remember. How about this? Thursday 13. Thursday 13. THURSDAY and the number 13. No space between Thursday and 13. Thursday 13. Thursday 13. Let me get to your free pick in just a moment. First, want to talk about the fantasy football contest. Run every week here for free. $300 of my money at stake, courtesy of not courtesy of DraftStreet.com. The contest is run through DraftStreet.com. It's my $300. But here's the bottom line, guys. It's a free contest. I run it every single week throughout the NFL season. Congratulations to last week's winner, Rob S. Vikes. I think that's how you say it. That was his username. You know, guys, if you're going to enter the contest, you really should use good usernames that are easy for me to say, hey, who won the damn contest? But he won the contest. Listen, with the whole thing with the fantasy draft, unlike the old-fashioned fantasy leagues and rotisserie leagues where you had to go ahead and wait until the end of the season to collect and get your payoff if you happen to finish in the money, with DraftStreet.com, there is a contest every single day. And what's unique about this contest, it's a free entry. And it's $300 of my money at stake. And the top 15 finish in the money. Now, this guy, Rob S. Vikes, he finished first last week. I finished number 8 last week. Steve Budin, who I co-host, of course, with the Countdown to Kickoff program, he finished 99th. But his 9-year-old son did finish number 50, I believe. So that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But it's a really cool thing, guys. You can go ahead and set up your roster. You have a mythical $100,000 bankroll, and each player in the league has a dollar figure assigned to him, and of course you can't break the $100,000 salary cap. So for example, the guy that won the contest last week, he and I both drafted Matt Ryan, and to give you an example, Matt Ryan's cost was $15,882. The guy that won the contest last week and finished 8 points higher than me in the overall standings, he went heavy on his wide receivers, and he got some brilliant production from Brandon Marshall and Julio Jones and Nate Washington and Jimmy Graham, the tight end. So it's a really cool thing. $300 of my money at stake. The top 15 finish in the money. Run it every single week. You've got till 1 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday to finalize your teams. Remember, you can start picking them, and you can always make roster moves as you see the injury reports, etc., coaching reports as the league progresses. So check it out. Click on the ad here on DraftStreet.com. Let's talk about the NFL so far. Week number 1. Traditionally, favorites are the way to go in week number 1. Was not the case this past week. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. The favorites went 7-9 against the spread. The home favorites went 5-6. And, you had the Saints and the Giants and the Raiders all losing those games outright. The double-digit favorites, ironically, both of whom I gave you as free picks on Sunday, they both covered easily, the Bears and the Texans. So let's take a look at that Green Bay contest tonight. Green Bay laying about 5.5 points at home against Chicago. Actually, it was Labor Day Monday. I appeared on Dave Kaplan's radio show out on WGN, and I said to everybody, the Bears were going to absolutely roll over the Colts, and I thought the game would go over. Well, gee, how easy was that one? But, now Bears much bigger step up in competition tonight, and you've got the Green Bay Packers in what is literally a must-win game for them. They can't afford to start the season 0-2. And, you have a Packers team that has won and covered 4 straight at home in this series. You have a Bears team that is in triple revenge. You have a quarterback for Green Bay who absolutely shredded Chicago's pass defense last year. Aaron Rodgers in 2 games throwing for 580 yards and 8 touchdowns versus just 1 interception. But you also have a Bears team that ran at will against Green Bay last year. Matter of fact, remember the Week 16 matchup? Matt Forte, who's back and healthy and coming off an 80-yard performance against the Colts Sunday, he was out, and yet they still ran for 199 yards. The Bears did in that Week 16 game against the Packers. And you saw the Packers couldn't stop San Francisco in week number 1 on the ground. Frank Gore, I think, had 112 yards overall. San Francisco in that contest had like 165 some yards rushing in that game. 186, in fact. It was 186 yards rushing. So I think that you have 2 teams here that are susceptible defensively. Because listen, the Bears, they dominated the Indianapolis Colts, but this isn't Andrew Luck in his first game and a Colts team that had 30 new players on its roster. This is a veteran Green Bay team that can put points on the board. We've all seen it. Last week, they couldn't do anything. They were down 23-7 at home after 3 quarters against San Francisco. But guys, if you haven't noticed it, the 49ers do, I believe, have the best, most aggressive, and most athletic defense in the NFL right now. So that result wasn't really that surprising. I think tonight, both teams will be able to run the ball effectively. Obviously, Packers have to get Cedric Benson, the one-time Bear bust first-round draft pick, involved in the offense. He had 9 carries, just 18 yards against San Francisco. But really in that contest, the Packers couldn't afford to run, being down early and then 23-7 after 1, and after 3, and Aaron Rodgers turned out to be their leading ground gainer. At the same time, I like the fact that Matt Forte is healthy, and the Bears also have former Oakland Raiders running back Michael Bush now in the fold as a change-up back, 12 carries, 42 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Colts last week. So I think all the elements are there to take this game over the total. Yes, it's a big number, I grant you that. But do you really see these two teams locked in a defensive struggle? So that's the way I would play it for your free pick. I would go ahead with the over. Now, in terms of the South Florida Rutgers game, let me just give you a little background there in case you're interested in that contest. Last year, South Florida goes to Rutgers. They dominated the game. With 3 minutes to go in that game, Rutgers only had 80 yards total in net offense. That's it. That's how dominant South Florida was. And what happened? Rutgers comes back. They score to tie the game late after trailing 17-3 at halftime. South Florida has a chance, however, to win it in regulation. They drive down, 2 seconds to play, a chip shot, 27-yard field goal. It's a miss. Rutgers eventually wins the game in overtime. And it has been a series that Rutgers has done pretty darn well in. They've won 5 of the last 7 in the series. Rutgers 2-0 this season. They hammered Howard 26-0. They won at Tulane 24-12. Meanwhile, South Florida, a surprising 2-0, beat up Tennessee Chattanooga in their home opener, and then they went to Nevada last week. They were down 21-6 in the first quarter. And trust me, guys, I know all about this game because I had a 5-dime play on Nevada in this contest, okay? So Nevada destroyed South Florida in that first half of that contest. And in the first quarter, I mean, Nevada had 228 total yards in the first quarter when they jumped out to that 21-6 lead. And Nevada was up comfortably with 2.5 minutes to go in the contest. Then B.J. Daniels, the South Florida quarterback, who's one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks. You know, everybody talks about Denard Robinson, and granted, he deserves all the accolades, but this guy is really something for South Florida. Daniels throws a 52-yard touchdown pass and a 56-yard touchdown pass in the final 2.5 minutes, and South Florida wins it 32-31. And you look at that box score, and based on what I just told you about how Nevada was moving the ball, you go, oh my God, you know, Nevada should have won it. Yes, they should have. Nevada had over 500 total yards in that game, but really, you know, South Florida's defense played pretty darn good against a pistol attack in higher elevation after a long road trip from Tampa to Reno. I've done that trip many times, guys. It's a hell of a long flight, let me tell you. And South Florida also ran for almost 200 yards. They had over 500 yards in total offense as well. B.J. Daniels, 22 for 40, 363 yards, 3 touchdowns in the contest. The defense forced 4 fumbles in that. And again, their offense had 572 yards. So you've got a Rutgers team that is built on defense. Can that defense get the job done here tonight on the road? Does South Florida have a letdown after the huge comeback win? Can South Florida's own defense tighten up the screws a bit? That's why I'm playing these 2 games in a teaser tonight. And I'll be honest with you guys, I think you could play this teaser in either direction. All 4 combinations are in play. Making the Bears higher as a dog, taking Green Bay down as a pick'em game at home, taking South Florida down to 1.5, or taking Rutgers up to 13.5. I think you can play this teaser all 4 ways tonight. But I think there's only 2 options, and that's the money winner, and that's why I'm playing it as a 10-dimer tonight. Good luck, everybody. Again, the money-saving discount coupon code is Thursday13, and I will catch you again on Friday when we've got one college football game, UNLV. I mean, they ought to move the Rebels out. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something. After the Rebels lost to Northern Arizona last Saturday at home, and nobody shows up at Sam Boyd Stadium to see these games, okay? Nobody. I mean, there's people calling about disbanding the program, firing the coach. Who wants the job? Who wants to come in and take over UNLV? It's a bad program. It's got no chance of winning. Anyway, they're going to be taking on Washington. And Washington State, Mike Leach's new team. Washington State's quarterback is doubtful for the contest. So who knows? Might not be a great game, but we got lots of baseball, and that's all that counts. Good luck, guys, and I'll catch you again on Friday morning.